เอาล่ะช่วงนี้นะคะเดี๋ยวขออนุญาตนะคะเรียนเชิญค่ะผู้ที่จะมาพูดคุยนะคะสำหรับหัวข้อถัดไปกันก่อนนะคะซึ่งได้แก่มิสเตอร์มิดโมฮันนะคะ Researcher of North Carolina State University State of America นั่นเองนะคะไม่ให้เป็นการเสียเวลานะคะขออนุญาตเดินทางไปที่มิสเตอร์มิดโมฮันก่อนนะคะ Ladies and gentlemen please welcome Mr. Mid Mohan Researcher of North Carolina State University United States of America please welcome ขอเสียงปรบมือต้อนรับด้วยค่ะ
Hey everyone, good afternoon. I'm myself Mid. I hail from US and I'm a researcher with North Carolina State University. So my today's presentation will be on the topic UAV data analytics and its application in forestry, conservation and security. So I'm pretty sure you guys would have been very familiar with drones these days. So I'm here to show you like what you can actually do with the drones. Not just taking picture, but like what you can actually do with the picture and how you can use in your industry. So just to give you an overview of myself, so my background is primarily on statistics and analytics, and I apply it on environmental science and also geospatial applications. So in the past few years, I've been working with various research organizations in the US, such as the Forest Service, NASA, and Bayer, and I've been like helping them with their research with drone application. So this is just an overview on what I'll be talking about now. So this is just like, at first, I just would like you to give you an overview on what is actually remote sensing. So the drones actually comes under this category. So remote sensing is nothing but taking data of an object without having a physical contact. So this can be anything like maybe take a picture of you from using like a drone, or taking picture of a place using satellite imagery or anything like that. So why do we actually need it? So the thing is that imagine you are like a security professional, or you are more like a farmer, and you have plantation. So you want to see how your crops are growing. So in that case, you will be like sending people to take the measurements, or people to like count how many number of people are there in the field. But that is very time consuming, and also it's like you need a lot of people and you need a lot of money. So by using something like a drone, or maybe like using a satellite imagery, you can eradicate that problem. And also in remote sensing, there are different kind of remote sensing techniques. Apart from drone, there you can use satellite technology, and then you can use laser and different kind of things. So the UAVs. So let's come to the hot topic. So why is UAVs better solution than other kind of remote sensing? So the primary reason is the frequency with which you can actually fly. The thing is that you can actually fly drones whenever you want. Like you can fly maybe like once a day or once a month, or depending on the season. You cannot do that with some satellite done by NASA. And also the spatial resolution of the imagery which you get from drones is high quality. So from the image itself, you can understand how many people are there or what is the current situation. And other than that, you know, like the computer science people are working really hard to build robust computational algorithms where you can do things automatically with the support of artificial intelligence. And also, it's very easy to use. As you know, like even small kids and up to like very old people can easily fly drones. And also, it's like pretty affordable nowadays. Maybe like with less than $1,000, you can get pretty much good drone. But also, there are like regulations that comes with the territory. So one should be like very careful on where you are using. For example, in the US, it's like you cannot fly drones above 400 feet. And also like you cannot fly in the restricted area. And maybe like some country like India, like you cannot fly anywhere close to 50 kilometers. So it depends on like maybe in Thailand, it's more like you have to fly 20 kilometers outside the city limit. So you have to be like very careful on what you are flying, where you are flying. And it also also depends on commercial purposes versus hobbyists, because hobbyists, it's more, they are like more tolerable to them. So the another field I work with, data science, I'm sure you would have seen it somewhere, some point of time, because we live in a generation where we have like data everywhere. It's not like 20 years back. Now people will be using Facebook every second, and like billions of data will be developing just like that. So you need to like know that what kind of data which you need to use. So even when you are flying a drone, you want to know what is good data, what is bad data, how can you use the data, how can you make interpretation. Imagine you are running out of storage. You don't want to like keep on building, keep on capturing images. So you want to know what images works best for it. And for that, we use different kind of techniques like data cleaning, data visualization, and different kind of algorithms. So that is like a totally different field. And for that, we use something called machine learning. So that is like, since the data is really humongous, we cannot depend on human beings to do all the job. So what we do is like, we take the data which we have in hand, and based on that data, we train the machines to come up with new insights on the different data. So that's how we actually work currently. So let's come to the main point, which is drone data analytics. So drone data analytics is nothing but data science applied to the drone imagery. So here, you know, like most of the people who have flown drones know that the main output is the drone imagery. But beneath that, there are a lot of other applications and a lot of other things that you are capable of doing. So like using different software provided by companies such as ESRI and AGSoft, you can actually build 3D point clouds, and based on that 3D point clouds, you can develop particular model and like do forecasting. And also on the imagery, we can develop computer codes to apply algorithms and do like automatical tree detection and similar things, which I'll be showing soon. So these are like examples of the products that we actually have produced using drone. So the first one is like a orthomosaic. So that is nothing but we will like keep on flying drones with a particular overlap of an area so that we get matching images. And when we like stitch all those images together, we get this imagery. And the second one is nothing but 3D point cloud. So if you see that there is like a different in color, right, in the point cloud. So the color is actually based on the height. So for example, the green ones actually represent the tall points. So maybe like in the real world, that might be something like trees, whereas the red points might be something like ground. So rather than just seeing the imagery, you can actually understand how the structure is. So using that structure is a 3D model that is created in the third picture. So there you can see you almost get an imagery which is similar to the real world. So that's how like even in movies, now they are like incorporating drones so that they can build a model of the real situation. So let's come to the real-time applications. So for example, in the security side, most of the applications of drone have been used by military. So like for example, you can like do the surveillance and tracking in a pretty fast and efficient way, and also you don't need that many people to do the thing. So you are also like keeping things safe for the citizens. Also in US, for example, we use like to analyze whether when we are using some security, we are affecting any animals or habitats. So in that case also you can use drones to see whether it is affecting the human people, like human beings who are living near. And another thing which I'm like really concerned about is conservation. And I think like drone has a big future in protecting the animals by tracking the poachers. So like by flying the drones, in a way we are able to track these people, and also at the same time we don't like affect the movement of the animals. And also another thing is the oil and gas industry. They have been using drones these days a lot because it saves a lot of human lives. For example, a truck fall into like an ocean, or maybe like there is some gas leak. You don't want to send your own men to the field and risk their life. Instead, you can just fly drones and like detect where is the gas leakage happening. And in the conservation application, so in this picture you can see, so that is like a imagery, like a 3D point cloud of a tree that is obtained from the drone. So you can see that how the tree actually looks like. So from that, you can identify how how actually the plants or birds actually live there, where they will be nesting. So that is like habitat management here. Also at the same time, using something like a ultraviolet radiation, you can also detect whether how healthy the trees are. Even though you cannot find it physically, you can know that whether they are doing proper photosynthesis. And another important thing in the forest sector is the prediction of the forest fire. For example, some places using the drones, you can identify there is thick shrub which are almost dry, so that a small thunder or lightning can actually kill and like cause a forest fire. So we can easily detect that from drones. And also in the forestry, another main application is the inventory analysis, just like I have told. So in the US, the Department of Agriculture spent a lot on doing surveys and monitoring. So instead of sending real people, we are like really easy to do it with drones. Prominent application other than these three are, they are being used in disaster management situations where you can deliver the medical products in a very faster way, and also in precision agriculture, it's like pretty big, and you can, my colleague will be soon explaining it on that, so we'll be like able to do pest management and also nutrient variation using that. And another industry is like construction and real estate. They do it for roof inspection, area approximation, and also just that if you are a hobbyist, you can fly around drones taking picture everywhere. So this is an example of the research I have been working with some colleagues in NASA. So here is like so this is like an ortho mosaic imagery which we developed from a drone. So this is just an area, sample study area, which has mixed conifer forest. So what I'm actually doing is I'm modeling the area to see that how the tree heights are varying and how many trees are there, whether I can do it just from the drone imagery without sending any people there. So what I do is that I create point clouds from this imagery. And you can see that using the top point clouds, I create a layer. So the layer will look something like this. So here you can see that all the green areas are the trees and the brown areas are the soil. And also there is a variation in color which shows that the darker green might be treetops and the lighter green might be something like a grass. So this is the algorithm which we developed, and after applying to this imagery, we are able to detect the trees automatically. So all the red dots represent actually the tree tops. So there is a zoomed up version which you can see on the right side. So that actually shows you how the algorithm actually detect the trees. So using this, you can actually get a rough idea. So we were able to get like 87% accuracy on like how many trees will be there actually in the place. And these are like the 3D models which I have developed. So that's also future scope and concern. So something I see like drones being used are for wildlife protection. So we have been developing a lot of algorithms for pattern recognition that can be used to trace animals like tiger, giraffe, and zebra. So for example, you find someone using a cloth made of tiger. So you can like track that cloth and like put into the system so that you can detect where was that tiger last found. So that will give you clues on who will be working on that or what kind of people are behind it. So that we can actually implement using drones also and more efficient and faster way. And also in global climate change, I think by tracking how the trees are giving carbon, using the drones, we can have a rough idea on how the carbon cycle works. And that can help you like compete with the global climate change. And also emergency response, that's firefighting swarm. So instead of sending people, you can actually send a swarm of drones and also like maybe like spray water on the fire. But few things that you need to note is that if you are using drones for conservation purposes, you have to make sure that you are not distracting or like disturbing any plants or animals, maybe like because the sound of the big drones might affect the birds and all. And also imagine like you are, there is like a person who is flying drones for a long time or who is not that skilled. He might just go and crash the drones in some tree or something, and that might cause forest fire, which we don't want. And also another important thing to consider is that if you're a big company, and then that is fine. But imagine you're a small farmer, you want someone to fly the drone, but the problem is that you might not be able to give them job throughout the year. So it's really hard to find people who can be a full-time professional pilot. And also the software and processing cost, even though a lot of money has been spent on research for identifying all these things, it all come with a cost. And also the air traffic laws, you need to be like really familiar on what you are doing so that you will be staying out of trouble. So that's all for today. I'm really thankful to all the partners, especially Drone Academy Thailand and Drone Association of Thailand for giving me this opportunity. And I hope you enjoyed my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Do you have any question, anyone?
So anyone has some question?
Hello, thank you for your presentation. I'm curious, Thailand has a lot of teak farms or teak plantations, and one problem is to measure the growth of these trees to track their progress and make sure that the trees are doing well. It's right now a very manual process to have to walk out and measure the diameter of the trees over time. But so far, as we try to consider using drones for this, it's hard because there's foliage on top, so it's hard to see the diameter of the tree. Have you heard of any application that can solve that with machine learning?
So the problem when you have like a dense forest might be something like occlusion or something, because there might be like one tree below another tree or something that is obstructing the tree. So the only thing we can try is that maybe like try to find something that separates it. For example, if I'm trying to identify trees which have like an invasive species, maybe you can do like an object-oriented classification, because the tree tops might be different in something like sharpness. So it's more not a point from the machine learning, because the algorithm will be applying will be the same, but the pre-enhancement techniques we'll be applying might be different, because some trees, the crown will be of a different shape, maybe like more oval, but sometimes it might be more sharp. But if you want to be like more accurate, you can use something like a infrared ray, so that like their wavelength, when you calculate something like NDVI or something, it will be very different, so that you can apply that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Mohan, researcher of North Carolina State University from USA. เอาล่ะช่วงนี้นะคะพร้อมแล้วค่ะสำหรับหัวข้อถัดไปนะคะได้แก่ Southeast Asia Drone Market and Problem Solution to Thailand Regulation นะคะซึ่งสำหรับหัวข้อนี้ค่ะจะบรรยายโดยคุณจัญญวัฒน์ชาติอนุรักษ์ค่ะ Director of Drone Academy Thailand นั่นเองนะคะช่วงนี้พร้อมแล้วขอเสียงประมือต้อนรับคุณจัญญวัฒน์ด้วยค่ะ
สวัสดีครับสวัสดีครับสวัสดีครับทุกท่านต้องขออภัยนะครับสไลด์มีอุปสรรคนิดหน่อยก็ so you prefer English version or Thai version who prefer Thai version who prefer English โอ้คนไทยไม่ยกนะครับมีแต่ฝรั่งยก เดี๋ยวพยายามพูดอังกฤษปนไทยแล้วกันนะครับโอเคsince this session is more like international, so I try to make it in bilingual, okay? Sorry. So first of all, I think I would like to thank you for many people here, especially please clap your hand for Royal Thai Air Force in front, everyone. Yep. And highly believe that people from Royal Thai Army, right? Okay. And I highly believe that one of you are maybe from the university, Suratnari University. Yep. Okay. And people from Thai registration at the back. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And I think the special investigation, DSI. Any of you? Yeah. DSI also come here as well. Yeah. Any of you are missing? Yeah. I think the thing is today we all know the drone, right? But I'm not sure whether any of you heard about the way that using drone like this. Okay, let's see. เสียงไม่มาครับ โ เพิ่มเสียงนิดนึงก็เป็นการใช้โดรนนะครับที่เอาไปใช้ในภารกิจก่อการร้ายของ ISIS นะครับโอเคก็อย่างที่เห็นบนภาพนะครับใครคิดว่าเป็นหนังครับใครคิดว่าเป็นของจริงนะครับเดี๋ยวค่อยไปเฉลยนะครับภาพที่ท่านเห็นอยู่นี้คือส่วนหนึ่งนะครับที่เราจะเข้าเรื่องทราบไหมครับว่าเมื่อเร็วๆนี้เนี่ยมีเหตุการณ์แบบนี้นะครับเกิดขึ้นเมื่อวันที่17วันนี้วันที่เท่าไหร่ครับ18นะครับ17เนี่ยมีข่าวออกนะครับว่ามีผู้ก่อการร้ายนะครับนำโดรนไปบินที่ภาคใต้นะครับแม่ทัพภาค4ท่านก็อาจจะให้ข่าวไปนะครับว่ามีการจะยิงทุกลำเลยที่ขึ้นนะครับแต่ดังนั้นเนี่ยนะครับถ้าเกิดสมมุติว่าเราบินอยู่แต่ไม่ได้อยู่ในเขตพื้นที่นะครับอาจจะโดนไปด้วยหลายคนก็อาจจะกลัวนะครับท่านก็เลยออกมาปัดดังนั้นเรื่องภัยความมั่นคงของโดรนเนี่ยเริ่มมีความสำคัญขึ้นเรื่อยๆนะครับวันนี้เนี่ยในช่วงท้ายนะครับเราจะมีของเซสชั่นคุณอดัมมาเล่าให้ฟังว่าเทคโนโลยีที่จะแก้ปัญหาที่ต้นเหตุถ้าผู้ก่อการร้ายบินขึ้นที่ตรงนี้สามารถเทคออฟขึ้นตรงไหนเรารู้เลยว่าโดรนบินไปตรงไหนและมีพิกัดผู้บินอยู่ตรงไหนนะครับไม่จำเป็นจะต้องไปไล่ยิงทุกลำนะครับมีวิธีการยังไงนะครับอันนี้ก็เดี๋ยวมาดูกันอีกทีนึงโอเค the next one anybody ever seen this presentation before มีใครเคยเห็นบ้างแล้วครับโอเค I think many of you already seen this oneซับไตเติลตรงนี้เราลงทุนแปลสำหรับงานนี้เลยนะฮะแต่อาจจะแปลผิดถูกก็ต้องขออภัย
Just like any mobile device these days, it has cameras and sensors, and just like your phones and social media apps, it does facial recognition. Inside here is 3 grams of sheet explosive. This is how it works. Did you see it?
โอเคนะครับก็ไม่ใช่เป็นของเล่นแล้วนะครับอาจจะเป็นของเล่นแต่ถ้าของเล่นติดดินระเบิดติดลูกกระสุนเข้าไปก็อันตรายนะครับ it's not just a toy but if we embedded it with some kind of technology it could be used as a swarming technology that can release from the sky something like this
actually less burden clients.
Is behind window.
No.
Stockpile in the.
Oh, no.
Traffic approximately A720 this morning.
อันนี้เป็นจำลองสถานการณ์นะครับถ้าเกิดสมมุติว่ามีการเอาโดรนมาใช้ก่อการร้ายเนี่ยจะเกิดอะไรขึ้นนะครับ
Oliver, can you hear me? Listen to me.
I can hear it, Mom.
Authorities are still
เป็นไงบ้างครับเท่าที่เปิดมามีแต่เรื่องที่น่ากลัวทั้งนั้นเลยถูกไหมครับ so it's just not like we trying to say that drone is something scary I'm here just to ensure that everyone understanding that drone we have many possibility of uses okay let's start let me introduce you a little bit right now we have the Drone Association of Thailand. We already submit the paper and it's also in the process. And right now we have 5 missions for the association. We would like to promote and support many things about the drone regulation. The first one, in case if you're looking for to importing or exporting the drones equipment or the regulation is not so strict, so too strict. We might have a lot of problem, right? So that's why we came up as the provider, consultant, and knowledge to the CAAT. Yeah, you all know CAAT, right? สำนักการบินพลเรือนนะครับ So the second one is like we would like to cooperate with the overseas professional organization that provide the knowledge to Thai people and organization as well. ก็คือเพื่อที่จะแลกเปลี่ยนความรู้นะครับเอาความรู้จากต่างประเทศมานะครับ and the third one I think we highly believe that one day the drone may using as a terrorist tool but how we can ensure that if you using the drone for photography aerial photography how can you ensure that so we need to have some kind like a standard but for the standard we need to have the technology we also need way to do the research. The group of people to do the research. Recently, last year we have the competition of drone at Sulanari University. Yeah. So, but the problem is that we cannot fly beyond line of sight. So it have a lot of problem that we're trying to pushing the technology, but the regulation understand that we may using it for research purpose. But for the research purpose, we might harm to another people. So it's too risky, right? So that's why we came up with the concept that we would like to help all the researchers, school, and university to solve this kind of problem. And the next one is just to ensure the standard of each organization, something like that, that each drone repelling aerial photography, they have their own standard. Yeah. And the last one is to encourage the use of the drone in various industry. Yeah. And right now we have several members online, 18,000 something, and we have the list of the committee here. And I think for the profile of the committee, the first one, he is the chairman of the association. He's been working for the custom department. Yeah, if you go to the airport and you have to pay the tax, so this is the department that taking care of that. Mr. Prayut, but different Prayut, not Prayut Chan Ocha. Yeah, but this is all the same name. Yeah, and this is me. as a deputy vice president of the association, I have been into the industry of the cybersecurity, worked with the government for a long time. I've written some of the book, and our drone for security also came from a lot of background from the cybersecurity. So we found out that we did a lot of press release regarding the drone sport, drone education, and on Monday I about to have the match to do the drone programming competition in Singapore. Yeah, so this is some basic background. We have the committee that doing a lot of inter-exchange business from Thai and Israel, Mr. Charan, and Dr. Duran is one of part of the key person that doing about the human resources regarding the people who have ethical training to have a capability to fly the drone responsibility. Yep. And the next one is Dr. Smith. He is involving with Ratchapat Thonburi Alumni Association. Why we discuss about this? Because sooner or later, we as part of the researcher of drone in Thailand, we need to have some area as a sandbox, right? Sandbox is a location where we can test and do demonstration about the drone นะครับพื้นที่ทดสอบ drone. So ราชภัฏธนบุรี is maybe probably one of the Goldilocks. Goldilocks somehow we say ตำแหน่งที่เหมาะสมนะครับเหมือนโลกที่ไม่ใกล้ดวงอาทิตย์เกินไปหรือไม่ห่างเกินไปถ้ามันใกล้เกินไปก็จะร้อนนะครับถ้าห่างเกินไปก็จะหนาว So exactly this position is so good, not too close to the airport, not too close, not too far away from the Bangkok, somewhere away from Samut Prakan, it near Sirilas Hospital. Sorry, maybe Rama, yeah, sorry. So, and also one of the logistics center, tourism spot, a lot of things over there. We would like to pushing this area to be the same as Hiroshima, not Hiroshima. It's like part of the Japan, Fukushima, sorry. Fukushima is the area of the Japan near the coastline where they do the testing of the drone in 3 levels. The first level is like you flying the drone, make the delivery without any building or house under the drone. But the second level, you do the delivery with a small house, and the third level you do the delivery system with a high building, something like that. Yeah. And the next one, Kun Petmani is the one who behind the successful story about the Thai people that win the drone challenge in Korea, because she is not just the sponsor, but she is the Thai people that organize this event in Korea. Yeah, and Mr. Skan is also one of our committee as well. He have a lot of experience in aerial mapping, photography, something like that. And Kun Nut, Priya Nut, and Kun Silavut also play important role to organize the drone raising event in Queen National Circuit Center recently 2 years ago. And we also have a lot of local partners, Royal Thai Air Force, NIA, BOI, NBTC, a lot of university as you can see here. And as an international partner, we have TTA, DGI, DSI, Science Center, Singapore, ITE, JUIDA. All of them we meet in person already. So the association not just came up with the knowledge from nowhere. We took the specialists from everywhere in the world just to help the regulation in Thailand to make it better. Yep. Okay. To make the thing easier, we are now having the problem that Thailand we have a lot of problem like 19 kilometers that you cannot fly from the center of Victory Monument, right? So with the solution, if we open the area, it's like many people would have a chance to use the drone for aerial photography, yeah, right? But some people maybe misuse it. Recently, last year, there would be the case that one of the guys flew the drone and shooting the airplane across the Don Mueang airport, right? With that kind of incident, we need to have another kind of solution. The solution is like we have the radar system that can identify the pilot, who is he, what is his email, where is he taking off the drone from. So that's kind of technology you will learn more from the session of the DJI. And I highly saying that confidentially that all of you might curious that is it possible just to use with the DJI drone? We also have a solution that we can detecting the rogue drone that not from the DJI as well. Lilian will also provide more info about that. And also in Singapore, if you fly inside indoor of the restriction area, it means that you still can fly. But as long as you can fly indoor, it's okay. But for Thailand, we still looking forward to make this kind of regulation more clearly. Yeah. And the third one is a registration system. It's a lot of headache now. It's like take a long time. If you have to check your personal criminal profile, it take a lot of time already. So I think that in the future we might have our partner from the association, probably Flink. Yeah, we're doing a lot of things together to help all the people in Thailand do the drone registration safely. Or probably we may took some specialists from China. So in the future, the registration system will be the more standard, international standard that no longer needs to use the paper anymore. Yep. And the third one, if you do the drone registration, but what can guarantee the standard of the skill that you saying that you have a capability of flying the drone? You don't have a standard. But if we have the simulation or the training course, so that this kind of thing can ensure that you have a certain capability to fly the drone in various situations. So that's the solution. And the third person insurance, this is the thing that several countries in the world have it. Maybe Italy and some country in Europe. But what I can say is that we should have an application that, okay, if you fly the drone, if you going to crash to somebody, you maybe press the button of the application. It's like insurance on demand. So it's better not to enforce you to pay 3,000 baht a year just to fly small drone. That doesn't make sense for me. So in Singapore, Japan, China, many countries, we don't have this kind of problem. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to let everyone know that right now we have the association and we're looking forward to make the good thing happen. And hopefully in the future, you guys can be part of our member and help to make the drone social community for the greater good. Yeah. I think it's probably run out of time. There would be a lot of things that my friend can mention about it. So as you can see from the screen, we have the submitted the paper of the association already. And this is the picture that the team of the association meet the people of the CAAT recently on this Monday. Yeah, and we have a very great feedback that they're really looking forward for our consultant, and we are quite happy to take all of your comment and become an agent and talk with them. Yeah, and I think that's it for my time. And if you have any question regarding the drone or things, feel free to adding my line ID. If you would like to learn more about this, you can take the photo and talk to me. Yep, thank you.
ขอบพระคุณด้วยนะคะสำหรับอีกหนึ่งหัวข้อที่น่าสนใจนะคะวันนี้ค่ะสำหรับเทรนด์ใหม่ๆเทคโนโลยีใหม่ๆนั่นเองนะคะ Thank you very much คุณจัญญวัฒน์ชาติอนุรักษ์ Director of Drone Academy Thailand Ladies and gentlemen, and the next session we are going to the advanced UAV flight controller system for homeland security mission by Mr. Jeyong Shin. He is a founder of subak.ic. So ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Jeyong Shin on the stage. ขอเสียงปรบมือต้อนรับด้วยค่ะ
Hi, Sawadee-kap. Yes, I just know this word and the hello. Hi, guys. I'm from Korea, and my name is Jeyong. And today my topic is about the drone security. Yep. First, briefly, I introduce myself. And I'm the software engineer and co-founder of the Subak.io, the company. And we are develop the software in commercial drone software and hardware. These days, we focus on the more than software. And next. Yeah, so today my topic is like this. At the first, I want to talk about the safety and fail-safe and security. Then let me clear the word's meaning. Then I also introduce the onboard system. And I want to share my experience in the security project. And there are two projects. One is for onboard, and others is related to the security, the chips, embedding the drone system. And for security, I divide the two layers. The first one is high level, and second is low level. And I think you are developers, and you are interested in the low level, but I think almost you guys as just like a user or a pilot or executors or military. So I will focus on the high levels. High levels is the policy, because when something happens to drones, is a bad thing. As unsafety things happen to drone, what the drone should do for recovery or for safety. So, and low levels is related to mechanics and electronics and software system. So, for example, the policy, there are a few examples. The first one is drone identification. Drone identification means, when you fly the drone, you have to register your drone to government. Then you can fly your drone, right? So I think of few country, you should register your drone. Even though the drone's size is small, you have to. And next, altitude limit. Like United States, about 400 feet. And in Korea, it's 150 meter. It's different. And almost the same, the 400 feet and 150. And other is airspace restriction, like a military area or some area you cannot fly your drone. And next thing is visual line of sight. That means when you fly the drone, and you can watch your drone. So it's the distance maybe between 500 and 1 kilometer is too short. And next thing is before sunset, you can only fly the drone. After sunset, you can't. And next is for safety. You cannot you don't fly near airport and near the public event in stadiums. It's prohibited. For the policy, is like the function or regulation when you manage the drone or you provide the service. In last month in Korea, on residential street, the drone crashed into the car, and like this. But it was lucky. It doesn't harm the people, but it crashed the car. It's like this. So if you make some policy, right, and then your software system and electronic mechanic, they support the policy. So it's related to, you are just interested in policy, but for achieving the policy, the others, the low-level system should support the high level. And next, the fail-safe. Fail-safe means, actually fail-safe is not fail, because for example, the low battery is a fail-safe. Actually, it occurs very often, so we can prepare the low battery status. So we already know the fails, so we can prepare. So that means it's a fail-safe. And for example, if your drone lost the propeller in flying, and also the drone make a decision that it's just hovering in the same position, or it just come back to the launching position, or land some space, some safety, safe the location. It depends on policy, right? And the low battery also, if you can set the low battery, the critical point, like a 12 voltage or some capacity is ampere that you can set, then below the limit, it alarm to you, and you can set should be just land the same position or just the come back the launch position like this. And next is security. Security is has a few kind of this security issue. First is a malfunction. If you wanna disable the drone, you just shut the jamming GPS signals, because the drone just use the position data from GPS. So you just jamming signals, it cannot fly. It also have some make a decision, like just landing or just go like this. And hijacking, and usually hijacking in plane, the armed people and take out the control. But usually in drone, you just take the channels, the communication channel, then send the control command that you can hijack the drone. And virus and shutdown is the same as the network, the system, like a network server. You can install the virus, then you can shut down the system. It's the same. And next thing is a smart drone system. Smart drone system consists of many kind of the sensors and cameras, like a LiDAR and depth camera and 3D camera, stereo camera, and also flight controller and onboard system. Actually, onboard system is the core part of the smart drone system. So onboard system is like a brain of drone, and you can handle the high-level mission and function, and also build the path trajectory plannings, and can manage the unsafe the situation. it's like a brain. So we use the PC, and because we need the powerful performance. So basically, it should do image processing, and also it needs the Wi-Fi or the LTE communication. These days, the commercial drone, prefer the LTE to Wi-Fi. And next is, also provide the decision making and other heavy job. In point of view, in software, it has the Linux system and ROS and deep learning framework and a sensor drive. Usually, sensor drive, the company, the product vendors provide the sensor drive. It is. And next, onboard system issue. Actually, for security problems, we just attack the onboard system, because onboard system is the brain. So if you take out control from onboard system, you can do everything. So as the main target, will be the onboard system. And I want to share my experience and related to safety and security the issues. And in drone and car, usually they need the redundancy. Redundancy means the system has a duplicated function or the unit. But if you add the same duplicated system, you have to think over the physical connection, also the synchronization, and assign the weight. So sometimes just one bolt can handle everything. It's more useful. So in TX1 is the onboard system. There are two systems in here, and Linux and some kind of the RTOS or the just firmware. So TX1 has the 4 cores, and 3 of them and assigned to Linux, and 1 is assigned to RTOS or the firmware system. So if the Linux and or attacked by some bad thing happens, and RTOS and take action is a takeover. So RTOS and control the drone system. As my experiment, and actually you can watch it in YouTube. I will pass at this time. And next thing is security semiconductor. It's kind of you can embed some security chips in your drone, because the military and national security agency and company want their own security chips, because usually the country and military their own the encryption algorithm, and it's not open. Just the military company just build that kind of chip, so they just put this chip to the commercial drone or military drone. So, but it has some issue, right? The real time and performance, and sometimes we should integration the chip to drone system. So that is our product, our prototype, and because some security chip companies ask us like this, and we use the PX4 like open source and flight controller. We put the chip, then we integrate the board, and it works. And if you develop like this board, and you should and provide the API or SDK for control the security chip and pilot controller. And also then you can test the performance test. And we use the open source. Actually, I'm a big fan of DJI drones, and my business was started from DJI, but now we moved to open source because US Army, last year, the US Army banned some drones, and they need the white box. They can see, look into the source code. Then they want to give some certification, right? And also, sometimes we should integrate the security chip to our drone system. That is the reason why I use the open source system. So, summary. First, I introduced the safety and fail-safe and security. Then, I briefly explain about onboard system. Then, two projects related to security and safety. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jeyong Shin, the founder of Subak.ic. Thank you very much for the wonderful and amazing presentation. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to the next session, and the next session is a National Automatic Drone Registration System in China and Drone Technologies for Borderland and Homeland Security by Mr. Lilian Lee from the International Business Director of TTA. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome คุณ Lilian Lee ขอเสียงปรบมือด้วยค่ะ
Good afternoon, everyone. First, let me introduce myself. My name is Lilian Lee. I'm from TTA. Later, I will introduce what we do and what we can provide to the international market. Okay, this is my contact later. Someone can take a picture. TTA is a manufacturer of the drones since 2008. And right now, we are the developer of a Chinese UAV register system developer. And we are the first agriculture drone maker in China. At the same time, right now, we are the biggest pilot training school in China. So later, I will show you the details of how we worked. The second part is that I will talk about our drones. So we mainly focus on agriculture, security, and also some new for the mapping, physical wings of the drones. Last, we are the biggest pilot training school in China. So later I will provide you how we train the pilot and develop the pilot training systems in China right now. Okay, I will slide on this one because I talk about it later. In the afternoon, everyone seems very tired. Here, showing some of our TTA's license and IP technologies. This picture showing that we are the authorized test centers of Chinese CAAC, and also we're the authorized test center from the APAC right now. So this is our certificate. To summarize, what do we do? We provide the UAV industrial supply chain from the R&D to the manufacturer, to the training, and also to the UAV tracking system. We provide a whole supply chain in the drone business. This one is we are the developer of a Chinese UAV, we call it U-Cloud system. So in these systems, we help our government to control and register the pilot, and also the training, and also the manufacturer, and also to let the government know who fly the drone, who is the maker, at what time exactly. From this picture right now, we will see that they have some areas. They are forbidden flying area, and also they have the open area, such as in this sector. Sorry. From the red flag zones, no any drones can fly into this area. This belongs to the military, to the government, and to the airport. In this system, so the government can control or to monitoring from the laptop, from your mobile, from your indoor and outdoor devices, as long as you have the internet. So as long as you log in the uCloud system, your pilot, your captain, your officer, and the drone pilot and the drone maker who flying all will be controlling in this system. So this is what we, the developer of the drone system. So the next part we will pass on our product about the agriculture, mapping, security, and also the drones. This is what we have done. We produced the agriculture drone, mapping, and security. Later, I will highlight on the security drones, how we make the security drones to help the government or help our farmers to protect the estate or the agriculture. Okay. Here we have a video how we do the security drones. I'm sorry, some of the word in Chinese, but it shows exactly what we have done. So this picture shows that we can use the drones with the tubes that for the fire control. And also these tubes, they have a 4 tube, 6 tube, and 8 tube. It is used for the terrorist control in China right now. It works for our police, state, and army. This is for the pepper spring system for the army. This is we have the 12 tubes of the bomb set. Here showing the controller ground stations of the drones, how you can control your drones and where you want to shooting the bombs. This is another project we have done for our Chinese armies. Then we do this demo around in our own company's facility and our own flag zones in Beijing. This is another demo that we have done in India last year. These videos will be very easily to help you to understanding the security drones. So normally, the security drones can attach with the tubes for their pumps, And also they can attach with the cameras. They can attach with the high spectral cameras for different purposes. And also the very important applications for security is for the attaching with the infrared cameras used for army to detect their have-left. So later I will show you what we have done. This is a reference with our security drones. In 2018, Yunnan earthquake said that we used our security drones attaching with the infrared camera to attaching who is need to help out. At the same time, we do some other earthquake site, the natural disaster, to immediately dropping the drugs or dropping the medicals to who need help. For the security drones, just slightly on. Now I come to our agriculture drones. Here I bring samples from my company from Beijing. That this is one for the actual spring drones. We have a 10 liter, 5 liter, and a 20 liter capacity right now. Oh, okay, sorry. So here is a very easy videos of our agriculture drones. Of this one, we call it waterproof drones, used for a mod of the apple tree and the rice farmland. From this video, we can see that this spring drones is very easy to fly, and also is assembling and disassembling very easily. So that's why it is very popular right now for the farmers to fly the drones. Now I pass on my last part of TTA. We are the #1 pilot training schools right now. So we provide the online training and the indoor and outdoor trainings of our pilot, for our customer, for government, and also for our dealers. So normally we provide for the fixed wing, helicopter, and multi-rotors. And also for the certificate, we can issue the pilot, captain, and also the coach. And also we provide the online English training. So foreigners and also the Chinese people can also attend our training programs in China, even whatever you are, because we provide online training. At the same time, for our education system, you know, even though you are a pilot, you know how to fly the drones, but even though for the spring, agriculture spring, for the mapping, and also for the videos, you need very specific training furthermore to make better videos and pictures. So we also provide, we call it a very specific trainings for industrial purpose. Here are listed some of our course, and also you can visit our website, ttaviation.com, to getting more information online. Yeah. I just quickly slide on our online training program. So you will see that all the trainings series indoors will be finished before, within 40 hours. Here is our, in Beijing, TTA located in our 6 rings of Beijing, because in China we have our own drone law and regulations. So within 5 rings of Beijing, no any drones flying. So that's why we have a 1 kilometer flying zones of TTA outside of Beijing. here latest of our coach of TTA. So to summarize my presentation right now, so TTA can provide you the developed system of the UAV control system, and also we can provide you the solutions of the security drones. And lastly, we can provide you the pilot training programs for customer, for government, and for our dealers. So thank you for all your listening. If you have any questions, just let me know. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Kun Lilian Lee from the International Business Director of TTA. Wow. Yes. This is so a very interesting presentation. Wow. Thank you. So, and the next session is the last session of today, and this is the drone detection and airspace security management. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Mr. Adam Welsh from the Policy Director of DJI on the stage. Please welcome. ขอเสียงปรบมือด้วยค่ะ
So thanks everybody for staying for the last presentation. I know that we're running a bit behind time, and I'll try to keep to my time slot and try and keep everybody ready to go home close-ish to 5. So I want to talk to you about what I think is a missing piece of the puzzle. Effectively, how do you do good drone detection and maintain airspace security for this new technology? But first I want to set a bit of context for this conversation. I mean, you've all seen a lot of scary videos over the last couple of presentations about what drones could be used for if in the hands of the wrong person. But there are also a lot of great things that drones are used for. And actually, I think those are more realistic views of what the technology is doing. If you look at the top right-hand corner, that is Kunwan Raya. She is Thai, she's 11 years old, and she won the drone racing championships in Shenzhen, China on Sunday. Now, this is great. I hope everybody in Thailand feels very proud about this, but it's also great because she's 11 years old, and she is playing with technology. She is getting involved in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics type subjects around getting involved with the drone space. We see a lot of organizations using drones to teach these subjects, and I think broad access to the technology is crucial to getting young people excited about something that's so crucial for our future. If you look at the bottom left-hand corner, that is a drone that's used in Australia to patrol the coastline, and it's used to save lives. Effectively, it has an inflatable raft underneath, and if anybody is found in duress, they get caught in a riptide, they're being pulled out to sea, it can drop a raft down. This was used about 2 months ago to save the lives of 2 swimmers off the coast of New South Wales. It also has artificial intelligence on board that allows it to detect and spot sharks. And so this technology is being used to monitor dangers to people on the coastline of Australia. We've done our own research around life-saving with drones over the past 2 years, just doing an open media scan. And we found that at least 1 to 2 people per week are saved by the use of a drone. And that's directly saved. Somebody is lost at sea, or they're lost in the woods, or they're actually caught in a flood, and they're spotted by a drone, either operated by a first responder, so police, firefighters, or emergency crews, or by a recreational drone flyer that's actually trying to help out and spot people in duress. And so there's a lot of very positive applications for the technology. And on the bottom right-hand corner, you see a drone package being delivered. Now, this is only being done in very small pilot areas currently. There's a lot of excitement. So Fukushima, which actually referred to by one of the previous speakers, is one area where they're doing drone package delivery. Canberra, Australia, is another place where they're doing it. This is where I'm from. And Google Wing has actually got their main pilot project for delivery. And they're delivering burritos, which is food, and small packets of medicine to areas like farms and even Tuggeranong, which is a small suburb on the outskirts of Australia. So there are quite a few positive applications for the technology. Right now, though, we really live in a world where drones are flying cameras. Package delivery is not done at scale yet, and it's not going to be done at scale for quite a while, but the real ways people are using drones is by using visual imagery. So everything from filming a sporting event, If you're a cricket fan, the last Ashes cricket tests were filmed using Inspire 2s by Channel 9 in Australia. If you are interested in sort of doing infrastructure or other surveys, a lot of people are now starting to use drones as the tool to do quick analytical work, such as, say, a runway inspection. So right now, if you're doing runway inspections, normally you drive the runway, you shut that airport runway down for a number of hours. But if you use a drone, you can do it far quicker, reopen that runway, and actually get people flying in and out at much less loss of income for the airport. So there are numbers of good applications. I also want to make clear that a lot of this has been done to make these drones, these RPAS UAVs, incredibly safe to fly. So we put geofencing in place. This is around critical areas, controlled airspace like airports. A geofence is literally a boundary set out with GPS that will stop a drone from flying within that controlled airspace. You come up to the geofence and you'll hover. You can't go any further. And that's usually done at a 5-kilometer radius around most airports. Altitude limitation. We put limitations in place. Most helicopter traffic occurs around 500 feet, so we put a 400-foot cap on how high people can fly. There are ways to disable that, particularly for first responders, police, and other responsible agencies, but we put that in place as well. Automatic return to home. So there's obviously a need, particularly in urban areas, if there's ever a disruption of signal, to not just allow that drone to hover out there. And so we have an automatic return to home function which brings the drone back to where it took off from. Obstacle avoidance and smart batteries are there also. So smart batteries detect if there's any deterioration in the battery, anything that might be dangerous, and also force a return to home. And obstacle avoidance is something that is key. Obviously, if you've got something returning to home on its own automatically, you want it to be able to spot other buildings, see what it's going over, and then stop, go up and over or around. And so we have sophisticated cameras around the body of our drones to ensure that they can avoid obstacles. And then the final one is ADS-B in. So some of you may have heard of ADS-B. This is what manned aircraft use to actually beam out a signal to avoid any air collisions. And we have ADS-B in, the receiving side of that, on some of our commercial drones. And this allows for airports and others to use our drones safely within the controlled airspace because the operator will have advance notice of any drone, any manned aircraft in the near vicinity. This is only going to get more sophisticated. Onboard technologies to avoid collision are a prime focus, obviously, of autonomous driving and autonomous vehicles. There's been an enormous amount of investment around vehicle-to-vehicle communication, and there's an enormous amount of investment around LiDAR and other techniques for ensuring obstacle avoidance, even in nighttime where visual techniques that we currently use are not available. This is going to get miniaturized, and you can guarantee that over the next few years it'll be on board drones as well. So I think the future probably promises an even safer drone than currently. But challenges are real. I don't want to sit here and pretend to you that there are not challenges with drones in the skies as it currently stands. But the challenges, I think, are challenges of accountability. So how do you allow local law enforcement to enforce the existing laws? It's very rare that there's actually a need for a new law around drone technology. Laws around privacy already exist. Laws around harm to others and reckless behavior already exist. But the problem has been, how do you identify who is flying that object up in the sky? So one of the key questions that we need to figure out is, how do we give law enforcement the ability to know who is flying that object so they can take action? Same for a homeland security type context. If your job is to protect the Parliament building, and you're sitting inside that building, right now there are a few very expensive radar options that are far from perfect for you to scan the air. But often you're actually stuck trying to do visual line of sight to see what's going on as well. So how do you give somebody in that situation the information they need to understand if something is a threat and to understand if they need to do something like use a a signal jamming gun or something else to protect that facility. And then finally, aviation. How do you ensure that people do not violate that airspace? How do you make sure that people are not doing things like the Don Mueang incident, which is obviously quite prevalent in people's minds, where somebody did something incredibly reckless and flew a drone trying to shoot video of a plane landing? How do you actually take enforcement action against these individuals? There's a fourth one that we think is also very important. How do you balance all those security needs against user privacy? We really fundamentally believe that there is a strong case for not having a big brother network system that sees every drone flight and tracks it for all eternity. If you're a science student doing a science project, there's no reason for the government to have a file of what you were flying and when. If you are a commercial company looking at a piece of land, there's really very little reason why all your competitors need to have access to a database that might show where that land is and then put in a competing bid. There are reasons for localizing a solution that allows for remote identification. So, we want to provide instant information. There can be no latency. There's no point in knowing that there was somebody flying in that area 5 minutes ago. You want to know exactly when they're flying. You want it to be instant. You also want to give pilots a chance to actually declare their intent. It is our belief that 99.99999% of drone operators are well-intentioned. They are not bad actors trying to do something wrong, but they may be ignorant of the rules of operation or even not aware of the area they're flying in the way they should be. So for those who actually have permission, have a waiver or a permit to operate in a controlled airspace, you should allow them to declare their intent so that police and others know, okay, they're doing a roofing inspection in that area. And maybe even put your cell phone number in so you can call and check to make sure that's the case. So, what was the solution that we looked at? We looked at using the command and control link. So the command and control link is a link between the RC controller, the controller you actually use to operate the drone, and the drone itself. So every drone that's flown with a controller has this command and control link. It's already built into the technology. It's a C2 link that gives you everything you need in terms of transmitting information. And with a quick and easy firmware update that can be pushed out, this command and control link starts to broadcast additional packets of information. Packets of information that allow you to identify the people flying the drone and the crucial information about that drone. So, what do you need to know? Whose drone? What type of drone? There's a big difference between a Spark, which is a very lightweight drone, or a Mavic Air, which is about 430 grams. Very lightweight, very low risk, and unable to really carry a payload, versus a large agricultural drone like our Agras drone, which can be up to 24 kilograms if fully weighed down with pesticides. If you're in a security position, you want to know whether it's a Spark coming at you or an Agras, right? You want to know what type of drone is coming your way so you can make a decision about the threat level. You want to know where it's located. You want to know where the pilot's located, so you actually know where the person operating the drone is as well. And you want to know its heading, its vector. You want to know where it's going, where it's come from. If you can see it's hovering around a lake, then you know it's probably doing some videography and it might be a tourist. If it's heading towards your location at speed, then you know it's something you need to take far more seriously. So once you have this information, you started to make the drone itself far more visible and understandable from a law enforcement or security perspective. But we also wanted this to be unobtrusive, automatic and safe. And I'll explain what I mean by that. So unobtrusive, we want to avoid permanent monitoring of users. Again, we think user privacy is at stake here, and so we don't think this needs to be something that is nationwide. We think it can be localized. Your airports, your parliament buildings, your key military bases that you want to serve and protect are the sorts of places where you put this kind of receiver in place. And we also want to make sure you don't have to retrofit the technology. So there are some ideas around GPS units that would require you to literally solder on a GPS transponder, you know, the sort of chips or tags that you use with your dog or with your kids to sort of see where they are. That completely impacts the aerodynamics, the weight dynamics of the products we sell. And plus, you just don't want people taking a soldering iron to a finished product. It's not healthy. And we also want to have zero additional costs to the user. So we honestly believe that if there are any subscription fees or any additional costs to the operator of a drone, people will not comply. So it has to be free. It also has to be automatic. So there can't be any way for people to turn this thing off. It has to be actually literally be built into the drone at purchase. And that's one of the key things when you have a command and control system. Like I said, every drone that has a controller is actually susceptible to this technology. And you want it to work regardless of internet connectivity. There are numerous areas that are remote enough not to have good internet, that still have areas that might be worth securing. It might even be a wildlife refuge where you're concerned about people flying drones that are harmful to rare species, birds, etc., and you want to police that area. It might not have 4G connectivity, but you can still use a solution that's actually pulling down this packets of information from the C2 controller. And you want it to be safe. You want to avoid issues of a network solution that could be hacked. The last thing you want is for somebody to be able to hack a system and bring it down, or even worse, spoof drones. So a system that has thousands of spoof drones showing up is a useless system because you're drowned in false signals. And so that's another key issue that we wanted to take into account. And so this is what the solution looks like in its prototype form. You see the small suitcase down here. That's literally an aeroscope unit. We call it aeroscope. And it's a mobile unit. You can literally throw it into a truck and drive around. And it gives you a 5-kilometer radius in terms of the signal it picks up. As you can see, there are antennae on top. That is what receives the packets of information that are going back and forth between the RC controller and the drone. And on the right-hand side, you can see a stationary unit. So we've actually had configurations in places like Shenzhen, China, at the airport that are set up to monitor a 30-kilometer area. Now, that's a large area. That pretty much gives you an entire city space in terms of the area it covers. And in some situations, that might be appropriate. What it gives you is a map that will show all of the locations of any active drones operating in that space, along with the trajectory, the flight path, and others. But it could also be set up to give you a historical record of who's been flying. So it has flight logs. So say you had somebody, and this is a very minor infraction, but say you had a peeping Tom allegation. Somebody was using a drone to spy on a family. The police could set up an aeroscope unit, turn it on, and you would have a rolling record for the entire time the unit was on of all the flights around that area that showed exactly where it was hovering, what time, serial number, identity. And so you could then go back, the police could come back, pick up the unit, and then file a charge under existing law. So effectively what we're trying to do is create a license plate for drones. We want to give police and other authorities, and I emphasize this is only really for authorities. We don't want a neighborhood association or a building co-op association to start using this technology. We think this is for responsible authorities in any country. The ability that a police officer has when he makes a traffic stop. A police officer, before they actually even get out of the car, will normally have put in the license plate number and know the identity of the person who should be operating that vehicle. And this gives them the exact same ability. If this is matched up to a registry system, particularly an online registry, you can have the exact identity of the individual immediately in terms of who is flying and when. And so we think this is crucial. And you may ask, why has a company that sells and markets drones gone to develop this? This actually isn't we don't see this much as a business opportunity. We actually see this as a function of keeping the market healthy for drones. We know that we need to make our drones as safe as possible. We know we need to keep our drones away from airports and other places. And we know we need to give police and authorities the ability to police the skies the way they should be able to. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Adam Welch, from the director of DJI. And would you please remain on the stage for have a photo session together. So next, I would like to invite all of the speakers on the stage for make the photo session. I would like to invite Kun Junyawat on the stage and Mr. Mohan on the stage, Mr. Jeyong Shin, Miss Lilian Lee on the stage for have a photo group together. Please welcome. ขอเสียงประมือต้อนรับสปีกเกอร์ของเราด้วยนะคะขอบพระคุณมากวันนี้นะคะที่ให้เกียรติมาร่วมพูดคุยนะคะแล้วก็มานำเสนอค่ะสำหรับผลงานนะคะหรือว่าเป็นอีกหนึ่งนวัตกรรมใหม่ที่เกี่ยวกับโดรนนะคะแล้วก็เป็นการเพิ่มศักยภาพมากยิ่งขึ้นค่ะช็อตแรกถ่ายไหมคะสำหรับสปีกเกอร์ทั้ง5ท่านหรือว่าจะถ่ายรวมเลยดีคะถ่ายรวมเลยนะคะและขออนุญาตเรียนเชิญนะคะสำหรับผู้ร่วมรับฟังสัมมนาของเราด้วยนะคะทุกท่านค่ะถ่ายภาพร่วมกันเป็นที่ระลึกบริเวณด้านบนเวทีด้วยนะคะเรียนเชิญทุกท่านเลยนะคะผู้ฟังทุกท่านเลยวันนี้ and next I would like to invite you all to come on the stage for have a photo group session together come on please welcome เรียนเชิญค่ะPlease proceed onto the stage. I would like to invite you all. เรียนเชิญเลยนะคะเป็นภาพที่น่าจดจำนะคะสำหรับอีกหนึ่งบรรยากาศของวันนี้ค่ะที่เราได้มีการรับฟังนะคะสำหรับ presentation ที่น่าสนใจค่ะกับเวทีของ Bouncy Stage ของเรานั่นเองค่ะและในวันพรุ่งนี้ค่ะเราจะมีสตาร์ทอัพที่เกี่ยวกับนวัตกรรมทางด้านเกษตรกรรมและอาหารนะคะเพราะฉะนั้นอยากจะเชิญชวนทุกท่านนะคะให้มาร่วมรับฟังการเสวนาแล้วก็พูดคุยรวมไปถึงเซสชั่นที่น่าสนใจต่างๆมากมายในวันพรุ่งนี้เรามีสปีกเกอร์ทั้งจากชาวไทยเองแล้วก็ชาวต่างชาติอีกด้วยนะคะ and tomorrow we have a special speakers of Thailand and from the abroad so I would like to invite you all to come back and join us again at the Bouncy stage over here เอาละค่ะช่วงนี้ขอเสียงประมือให้กับทุกท่านด้านบนเวทีด้วยค่ะขอบพระคุณมากๆนะคะ Thank you very much everyone